Hey guys, it's Trevor Laird here and welcome back to Nimera Talk. Now the swap is launched and the Nimera team has come up with an amazing way to launch it with this $10,000 USDT contest. Let's go into all the details in a moment. Now, before we go into that contest, we have to actually talk about the swap itself and how it works. Now, DeFi swapping is a very interesting trading mechanism that it's growing like crazy, over a $14 billion industry now and growing all the time. So Nimera is really going to capitalize on this. You know, Uniswap right now is trading at like $4 per token, and they don't even, they're only doing ERC20. Nimera Swap is going to be capable of so much more. So imagine what that could do for the value of EON. Now, if you're just looking for the basics of how this works, go over to this article that I'm linking in the description below that talks about the benefits of Nimera Swap to other decentralized platforms. And yeah, just take a poke at that. It's a great article. Now let's look at the swap app itself. It's incredibly simple. So we have here Nimera Swap cryptos or pool tokens to earn passive income. We have here some of the benefits to it, some of how it works, which you guys should already be familiar with. But if we actually look at the trading mechanism here, we just have swap or supply liquidity. You can choose to swap from one coin to another. Of course, you have to have those balances for this to work. So you can also go over to supply liquidity and then you choose a pool. Say this one right here, we have BTC and wrap BTC, and you can select from your BTC and add. Now I don't have any in this account, but that's the way you would do it. So one important thing to note here is when you are supplying liquidity, this is a way to earn passive income, and we'll talk about that quickly in a second. You want to select, if you want to minimize your risk to the best possible way, you want to select pay in two currencies. So you want to add an equal amount of BTC and wrap BTC to this share, because then you're trading on both sides and supplying liquidity on both sides, not affecting the price. And by having that, you're going to increase or actually lower the level of risk for that pair. So if we go over to the My Pool section, you'll see here that I have actually invested a little bit. The first one I invested in, they actually shut down that pool because there were some issues with it. But I did invest initially in that one. And then I've also invested in DIA BTC there. I've added some liquidity to that pool. So you can see I have 85% of that pool currently. Transactions, this is just showing like the actual transactions and deposits within it. One interesting thing here, we'll go put in the giveaway in a second, is looking at the statistics. So we can see from our stats here, things are definitely growing. We can see how much is being traded on each swap pair so far, as well as how much liquidity exists for each pair as it grows. Now, I also want to point out here, and we have to go over to the Nimera test site. So this is the not the live site now, guys. We are on the test site. If we go over to the pool section, you will see they are testing new pools to add right now. So these pools that you see on the test site, you can expect to see those on the main site soon. Generally, they're on there for about a couple days to a week, and then once they know they're all good to go, then they move them over. The most important one here, because this could really alter the value of EON and could bump it up really quickly, is this one here, the EON BTC. All those EON pairs are going to be really interesting to see how they pool and work out. Now, I think the most important thing when investing is understanding where you're gaining your money and what risk you have to your capital. So in the case of investing with the swap, what the team's done is put together this quick article that shows the benefits and the risks. But basically, I'm going to give it to you here. When you supply liquidity, you're allowing a pool that has two sides, almost like similar to a pair as the open market, but it's more like over-the-counter trading. So when you supply liquidity to one side, you're going to actually affect the price of the other side. So, and vice versa when somebody else does that. So you do have a risk with only investing in one side here. To help mitigate that risk, you want to invest in both sides of the pool, because that adds liquidity for people to trade back and forth, but keeps the price relatively stable. So you may be asking, how do I make money then? Well, all swaps on the Nimera Swap program here are subject to a current 2% commission rate. So what the team does is they take a 2% commission, and then 0.5% of that commission charge goes back directly to that pair's pool. So as a liquidity supplier, you actually own a percentage of the total liquidity of the pool. Therefore, whatever, say you own 50%, then you're going to get 50% of that commission that's returned back to the pool. It's just an ownership cycle for what people are willing to invest. But if you're willing and you're able to do those two currencies, you're going to mitigate your risk, you're going to earn on those commissions for the trades, and it will be a stable place for your money to grow. So, as the title suggests, $10,000 USDT is being given away to help launch the swap. This is a massive amount of money, and it's not just going to go to one person. It's going to be spread out to old community members and new community members and whoever wants to help kickstart the liquidity in the swap. It's a very basic system, and we're going to look at how it works right now. So here's the nitty-gritty details of how it actually works. It's pretty simple. When you provide liquidity to any pool within the swap ecosystem here, what we're going to have is a point system. So if you have, if you contribute €100 worth of liquidity, that's 1 point. €200, 2 points, and so forth. And it's going to be a competition between the top 50 liquidity providers. Okay, so if you provided 10% of all the liquidity between the contest period, you would get $1,000. Okay, so it makes sense there. It splits up between the top 50 liquidity providers. But the catch here is that if they take out liquidity before December 30th, when the contest ends, you will lose an equal amount of you're taking out liquidity, so you're going to lose an equal amount of points for the liquidity that you're taking out. Now, it might sound complicated, it's really not, so let's take a look at the actual way that it works. Now, going over to the main page for the contest here, all I did was go to swap and giveaway, okay? So we got $10,000 USDT giveaway. So we can see here right now that we have the top person has contributed 629 points. So that's like 62 or almost 63,000 euros worth of liquidity. Amazing there. And that currently is granting them about 53% of the contest for 5,376 USDT. And you can see so forth, they have the top 3 people here. Now I want to contribute to this as well to get things rolling, but I don't have 63 grand to throw in there. But you know what, it's amazing that people are definitely doing that. So if we go down on the main page here, you can see the rules again. €100 worth of liquidity is 1 point. Withdrawals are subtracted, and anything goes. So it's a mix of all pools, whatever you want. And as more pools are coming out, like you guys may see only a few people on this now, like 8 people, but as more pools come out, especially the EON ones, we're going to see this list get to 50 really, really quick, and that prize pool will start to spread out between everyone. So once you contribute to a pool itself, you can see your position there, and then your position on the total leaderboard there. So it's a very, very simple system. And like I said before in the previous section, guys, it's very important if you want the lowest risk to make sure to contribute to the pools in equal amounts of the currencies on both sides, because the way that swaps work, the higher the liquidity of the pool, the less risk to the liquidity providers. Now for the Nimera ecosystem health check, things are looking good. Now we did have pretty substantial downtime this week on the 3rd and the 4th, but that's because a lot of work was going to be put into the swap and getting all that going and hot fixes and things like that. Now, as we go forward, you can expect more downtime. Now, if you go onto the Discord site, you'll see when they have planned maintenance, but basically they're going to be adding pair after pair after the pair. So there's a few hours here and there where they have to pull the site down, add the pairs, and then put it back up. Now, as we saw earlier, if you go over to the test site, you're going to see what's kind of upcoming, but make sure to go on Discord and take a look at the current status of the exchange if you do see that it's down. Now onto our Nimera exchange market news. Things are looking excellent across the board. Now what we used to do on this channel is report the total liquidity of the exchange to see if we were growing or not, but really they've solved this in a really interesting way with multi-broker. Now obviously right now multi-broker only has one pair because it's being tested right now to make sure everything is good to go with Binance. But once we get all of these other pairs integrated into the system, you can see that any worry about liquidity on any facet of this is going to be totally gone. But anyways, one thing I want to focus on this week is the amazing things happening with EON. Now starting out with BTC EON, we're going to see we're sitting at the 350,000 EON per BTC level. Now this did jump around throughout the week, but December, you're going to see it is going to be a crazy one for the new kind of established value of EON. So even though BTC has risen quite strongly this week coming up, especially over the last 7 days. We are still holding strong on that 350,000 EON per BTC level, and that really puts us like, geez, for that conversion, it's almost 15 cents on this BTC side. Now, of course, this pair does not have a substantial amount of volume that we want to see yet, but we can see the behavior is really strongly in place for the sellers of EON. They are not going to be giving this up, especially when there's so much on the horizon. Now, this behavior has continued on the other EON pairs. Now, if we go down to EON USDT, we're going to see a really crazy thing that happened at the beginning of December. Somebody bought a big pile of EON, and look at that candle up there. It went up really high. EON for a moment there in a single trade went up to 71 cents 71 cents USDT. So that is really amazing there, and a sign hopefully of where things are going. Now, the end price for the week on USDT is 6.5 cents, but we can look here and see there is not a lot available, a few $1,000s here, okay? So a couple $1,000s US worth of EON available at that price, and then it just jumps to that next order, which is 52 cents. Amazing there to see all of this low cheap EON be gone, and there's not a lot left, like really a couple $1,000s. And then if we go over to the kind of the winner here on the fiat side for EON, which is EON Euro, the last trade there was at 8.8 euro cents. Now, since then, there are a few new ones available, but again, not a lot. We're looking at here about 15, this is just guesstimate, about 15,000 euro worth of EON at this lower level, and then you will see it just jumps really quickly. And again, guys, I think this is the end of what we're seeing for that lower cost EON, and it gets, whenever this comes up like this, it gets eaten up almost right away. And I think week on week, we're going to be reporting higher and higher values for EON. Now, looking at cryptocurrency global market news, BTC has once again, for the second week in a row, tried to achieve a new all-time high. Now, it does that briefly, and just like last week, then it does correct a bit down. So looking at the behavior of the past, this may be a good buy the dip moment around the 19,000 level. Now, looking at the 7-day total chart here, we had a gain on both Ethereum and BTC of around 5% at the time of recording. Now, this is variable, it does change all the time, but solid gains for BTC on the week-to-week level. There is a few corrections happening in the altcoin space from coins that were previously at a high, but now I think you're seeing a lot of people shift over to BTC, wondering if it's going to keep going past its all-time high. But do not be afraid to buy altcoins right now, because there is some amazing deals to be had. Okay, guys and girls, that's all I have for you for this week. No, wait, I'm just kidding. Let's give away $25 worth of EON to one of our subscribers. So if this is your address above me right now, then you have won $25 worth of EON. I'll be sending that to you within the next day or so. So just expect that in your channel's wallet or in your base web wallet there, wherever you send it to. So I will also, guys, be posting the blockchain within 24 hours as well to show a transparency of the winner. Please feel free, guys, to leave comments in the description below what you think about the swap and what you think about the contest and everything else, and come up with some ideas that we can really spread this, guys, because I think it will attract a ton of people to the platform. For Nimera Talk, I'm Trevor Laird.